This boss right here is one of the most annoying in all of Raid Shadow Legends. What's going on, guys? It's Corridor here, keeping it tanky in Raid Shadow Legends. And today we're going to talk about the champion who can solo one of the most annoying bosses in the entire game, and that is the Scarab King here on Doom Tower Hard, floor 100, highest difficulty Scarab boss in the rotation in existence. And you only need 2 champions to do it. If you want to see the builds for the specific champions, you're going to have to wait until the end of the video because I'm going to discuss the kits and then I will do the run, show you guys how it works, and only after that will you guys get to actually see what kind of gear we are working with on these champions, guys. So, Euros the Soul Cage, what does he do? This is the champ we're going to be using today. Oddly enough, he is a fragment legendary from Doom Tower Hard, so you got to do some grinding in the secret rooms in order to get him, but he is well worth it for trivializing one of the most annoying bosses in the game. On his A1, attacks one enemy, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of this champion's max HP. The shield's value is increased by 1% for each poison debuff on the target. This is a great A1 specifically for this use case. Why? Because it's free blood shield. You don't even have to put a blood shield accessory on this guy to give him that unique value that will reduce the number of times that the boss counterattack. On the A2, attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 15% of enemies under 1 or more poison debuffs. Also has a 100% chance of placing decreased speed for 2 turns on enemies under 2 or more, and places a stun debuff on enemies under 3 or more poisons. Instantly activates this skill when this champion is revived by Ryan the Conjurer. We are not worried about that because this guy is not gonna die in this battle. Listen up, guys. You can get Elenaril for free, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you level up. Just click my link in the description. Here's the steps to go about getting yours. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. This will not work on mobile unless you are downloading it for the first time. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril for free, as well as 3 free epics. Just click my link in the description and enjoy this wonderful start to Raid. On the A3, places a strengthen on all allies for 2 turns and ally protection on everyone but himself. That is on a 3-turn cooldown, so you can even use him as a protector outside of this boss situation. He is a very capable champion, especially running him with a bunch of poisoners. Like, if you run this guy with a Calvalax, you've got no problems. And then the passive is what brings it all together. When attack, has a 75% chance of placing a big version of poison for 2 turns on the attacker. Whenever an ally is attacked while under a strengthen buff, has a 75% chance of placing provoke on the attacker for 1 turn. Increases this champion's max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison placed by this champion. Whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison placed by this champion, also destroys their max HP by 5%. Cannot destroy a single champion's max HP by more than 25% in one battle, and that won't work on bosses. So unfortunately, we can't use this part of the passive on the boss. But I mean, he can destroy up to 50% of champion max HP. That's pretty crazy. There is no cooldown on this passive. He brings resistance in all battles by 80, so he is less likely to be debuffed. This guy is fantastic, and really, he's the only one you need for this team. The only other champion you need for this to work is some kind of a wave clear. We are going to be using Thor because he beats the cold crap out of the waves. Now, we are going to turn on the super raids. Got to get that maximum benefit, you know what I mean? And let's get in here. We'll do it on auto. Well, no, we'll manual it just so we don't waste any cooldowns. You can obviously set up a preset for this. I just haven't taken the time out to do so yet, but it would probably be worth the investment, to be quite frank. So we'll just go in here, Voluminous Ricochet, drop the waves like they're flies. Then we come in and Hammer of Heaven. Same thing again. The waves are easy. So now we focus on beating down this boss. And we actually don't mind him counterattacking because it makes him eat more poisons. And so we can put Strengthen up, protect Thor for a little bit of extra damage. He's provoked, and now we can just throw it on auto and just watch the good times roll. As you can see, Euros just keeping himself alive while also protecting Thor. Obviously, if you want to maximize the likelihood of success, you don't want to protect Thor and you just want to let him die so that Euros doesn't take any unnecessary damage. But this is pretty much the setup for the rest of the run. He's just going to sit here and be a meat shield, eating as many hits as possible, placing as many poisons as possible, and then just beating him down, letting the poisons do the vast majority of the work, relying on that strengthen for a little bit of extra mitigation. And that A1 is so lovely. Look at it. I mean, it's putting in the work. It's protecting him, but it's also making him take extra hits when the boss does that buff strip skill. So it's actually more likely for him to fall under poisons. Right there. See, took 2 hits, got 2 poisons. Yes, he stole the strengthen. No, it doesn't matter because the poisons are still going to do their job and he's going to sit there protected by that shield buff. So he's not going to take a bunch of unnecessary damage, and that boss is just going to wear himself out, beating onto this gelatinous monstrosity until the cows come home. Euros is such a good champion. Again, he can be used outside of this use case, but it is a very, very strong one, and one that his kit really leans itself towards with that shield A1 and the poisons upon hit. Poisons are a very strong way to deal with this boss because, I mean, they're doing good damage. Even with that passive bar up that negates damage taken, I think poisons bypass that. So, yeah, damage through debuffs. It's very strong. Obviously, if you could figure out a way to run a tanky Venom Mage alongside Euros, this would go a lot faster because then her A1s would be activating poisons, and she would also be able to put up heal reduction, which would allow her to destroy the boss's max HP, making this go by even faster. But you don't need it. I'm used to, on my old account, runs that could take upwards of 45 minutes for a single Scarab Boss run. And this one's going to be like 5. This is not bad at all. If I had Euros available to me on my other account, this would be a no-brainer. Unfortunately, I've got to get good at beating this boss. Well, not this boss specifically, but bosses on hard mode in order to get him in the first place. But Euros is supplied by the Doom Tower and is perfect to be used against the Doom Tower. So I highly recommend, if you have this champion and you're not using him for anything else, you might as well get benefit out of him for a quick little solo clear on the old Scarab Boss. You could use this guy as a protector in Demon Lord. Poisons are really good against the Demon Lord, so somebody who's going to be throwing them out there just for getting hit, it's kind of like a Taragi situation. And then you've got hard mode Dragon. Dragon is very susceptible to poisons on both difficulties, so very strong use case there. Basically anywhere where poisons are good. Admittedly, that is not very many places right now, which is very unfortunate in my opinion. I think poisons deserve a much higher place in the game at the moment, but they are very, very solid. In the places that they are good, they're like top tier. If you run him alongside Lydia, you could even use him on the Viper form to get done the poison sensitivity damage trial, because Lydia will bring the poison sensitivity, but she won't bring poisons. Well, this guy will keep you alive and also provide poison. Simple as that. So I highly recommend using Euros the Soul Cage. Fun little champ. And look at that. It's 5.5 minutes, and the boss is just about wore out. My jaw dropped when I first saw how good this champion is at this job. I mean, yeah, what's not to love here? It's simple. It's relatively quick given the boss, and it's accessible. So yeah, there we go. That was a record time, actually. 6 minutes on the button. Well, 1 second prior, but close enough. All right, now to actually look at the builds. I will show you Thor's build just so you get an idea of what I used for that wave clear. Here he is, Thor Fayhammer. We've got him built in 7-piece Merciless, trying my best to get to that 9-piece. We got him also in 1-piece Protection just because that's like the best crit damage gauntlet you could ever hope for. But here are the stats. We got him almost 50k HP, 5.5k attack. Could be higher, to be honest. 259 speed, not bad for a nuker. 366 crit damage, love that. 236 accuracy. Not going to be placing a ton of debuffs, but it's there. For a relic, we have him with a 4-star Cat's Gaze. That's giving him an extra 26% crit damage. He also has the gemstone, where every time the wearer kills an enemy, increases their damage dealt by 10%. So he's racking up a lot of damage on those waves, which just makes him even better. He's got the 6-piece Merciless. He's got the 6-piece bonus along with the Cat's Gaze. So he's looking at ignoring 45% defense. His masteries aren't even done yet. So 45%, 70% with Helm Smasher, which means his skills, I believe, ignore defense inherently. Do they not? No, they don't, but they do ramp a little bit on this A2 here. So, yeah, he's ignoring up to 70% defense. And then you throw in Nature's Wrath. He's 4-star Awakened, so he's racking up a little bit more damage, getting a little more crit damage. Love to see it. That's Thor's build. And then Eurost, the one that you have patiently been waiting for, which I very much appreciate. Here is the build. We've got him built in Perception for the speed and accuracy. I mean, Perception is still one of the best sets in the game. And Regen, obviously, to keep him alive because he doesn't have any innate self-healing. So Regen is great. If you're struggling, replace that Perception set with an Immortal set, and you should be good to go. As far as the stats concerned, we are looking at 68k HP, 3.5k defense, 217 speed, so you don't even need him crazy fast. And then we've got him with 341 accuracy, although you will notice that he was getting resisted some in that dungeon, so feel free to do masteries on that champion. We've got him with War Master just to get a little bit of extra damage off of that A1, as well as the accuracy masteries. He doesn't have a relic on him, nor does he have a blessing, so that's it. Yeah, I mean, defense percentage, HP percentage. You'd probably be better off going with HP percentage on the gauntlets and then trying to pick up defense on your accessories instead. But that's nitpicking. That's min-maxing. If your gear won't allow it, don't fuss. You saw the stats and you saw how well it did. So it's not hard. It's something that any of you guys can do. I believe that wholeheartedly, in fact. You could also double up on his masteries to make him even better at soloing by giving him Spirit Haste. He's already got Wrath of the Slain, so he's already getting the benefit out of that. But yeah, you could get him some extra speed by throwing this mastery on him and then just throwing some random food champs that are guaranteed to die. You only need 3, so your wave clearer +2, and then you're getting the full 24 speed. But again, we don't need it. It's a nice to have. So there you go, guys. A very, in my opinion, easy way to handle one of the most annoying bosses in the game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. What team do you use against that boss that works? And would this team be better? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Stay happy and healthy, and stay tanky.